Welcome to The Gut Instinct, where we explore the fascinating connections between our bodies and our minds. I'm Dr. Mark Reynolds, a neuroscientist passionate about how our brain interacts with the rest of our body.
And I'm Dr. Sarah Chen, a microbiologist specializing in the human microbiome. Today, we're discussing something truly groundbreaking, the possibility that scientists have discovered humanity's sixth sense. And surprisingly, it's located in our gut.
Sarah, when most people think about our senses, they imagine the classic five: sight, hearing, smell, taste, and touch. But recent research suggests there might be more to the story, right?
Absolutely, Mark. A fascinating study from Duke University has identified what researchers are calling a neurobiotic sense, essentially a direct communication pathway between gut microbes and our brain that happens in real time.
That's incredible. Can you break down what this study found? I understand it revolves around something called neuropods.
Yes, these neuropods are specialized sensor cells lining our colon. The Duke team, led by Dr. Diego Bojorquez, discovered that these cells can detect flagellin, an ancient protein found in bacterial flagella, which are those tail-like structures bacteria use to move around.
So our gut can actually sense the presence of certain bacteria. But what makes this a sixth sense rather than just another bodily function?
What's revolutionary is that these neuropods don't just detect the bacteria. They send rapid signals directly to the brain through the vagus nerve. This happens in milliseconds, similar to how our traditional senses operate, and it can actually influence our behavior in real time.
That's fascinating. So it's not just a slow chemical reaction or immune response. It's a direct neural pathway, almost like seeing or hearing.
Exactly. And here's where it gets even more interesting. In their experiments, when mice were given flagellin directly to the colon after fasting, they actually ate less food. The researchers believe this protein triggers an appetite-suppressing signal to the brain.
So our gut microbes might actually be telling our brain when we've had enough to eat? That sounds like a genuine gut feeling in the most literal sense.
Right on the money, Mark. And when the researchers tried the same experiment with mice lacking the TLR5 receptor, that's the receptor that helps detect flagellin, the mice kept eating and gained weight. This suggests this pathway helps regulate appetite and satiety.
This reminds me of the growing body of research on what scientists call the gut-brain axis. We've known for a while that there's communication between these two systems, but this seems to take it to another level.
Absolutely, Mark. The enteric nervous system in our gut is often called our second brain because it contains about 500 million neurons. That's more than in our spinal cord. But what's new here is the direct, real-time sensing of microbial components and the immediate behavioral response.
I've read that this might have implications beyond just appetite regulation. Could this neurobiotic sense also affect our mood, decision-making, or even psychiatric conditions?
That's a key question the researchers are now exploring. Dr. Bojorquez suggested this work could explain how microbes influence our behavior more broadly and might be relevant to conditions like obesity and psychiatric disorders. The gut microbiome has already been linked to anxiety, depression, and even neurodegenerative diseases.
So potentially imbalances in our gut microbiome could affect this neurobiotic sense, altering how we feel and behave. That's quite profound when you think about it.
It really is, and it opens up exciting possibilities for therapeutic interventions. Imagine treatments that target specific beneficial bacteria to promote the release of flagellin at appropriate times, potentially helping people with appetite regulation issues.
Or even the development of prebiotics or probiotics that could influence our mental health through this pathway. Speaking of which, what's the practical takeaway here for our listeners? How might this research affect their everyday lives?
Well, it certainly reinforces what nutritionists and doctors have been saying for years, that a healthy, diverse gut microbiome is crucial for overall well-being. Eating a variety of fiber-rich foods that nourish beneficial gut bacteria might not just be good for digestion, but could potentially influence our brain function and behavior.
And I imagine future research might give us more specific dietary recommendations based on how different foods affect this neurobiotic sense.
Absolutely. The researchers specifically mentioned investigating how different diets change the microbial landscape in the gut. That could lead to personalized nutrition recommendations based on an individual's unique microbiome and its interaction with the brain.
Sarah, this whole discussion makes me wonder, how many other senses might we have that we haven't properly characterized yet? Besides the traditional 5 and this new neurobiotic sense, there's also proprioception, our awareness of our body's position in space.
That's a great point, Mark. The more we learn about the human body, the more we realize how complex and intricate its sensing systems are. Beyond proprioception, there's also interoception, our ability to sense internal states like hunger, thirst, and even emotions. This neurobiotic sense might actually be a specialized form of interoception.
Well, it's certainly a reminder of how much we still have to learn about ourselves. Before we wrap up, is there anything else our listeners should know about this breakthrough research?
I think it's worth emphasizing that this is still early research, and while it's exciting, we need more studies to fully understand this neurobiotic sense and its implications. But it's a powerful reminder that the trillions of microbes living in our gut aren't just passive inhabitants. They're active participants in our physiological and psychological processes.
That's a perfect way to sum it up. Well, listeners, we hope you've enjoyed this deep dive into humanity's potential sixth sense. If you have any questions or topics you'd like us to explore in future episodes of The Gut Instinct, please reach out through our website or social media.
And remember, the next time you have a gut feeling about something, your microbiome might be doing more than you realize. Thanks for listening, and we'll catch you in the next episode.
Until then, trust your gut in more ways than one.